Hey, before we get started, you should know that this video deals with some pretty heavy themes, including hallucination, compulsive behavior, dread, and self-harm. These are not just discussed, they're also visually depicted. So some of the moments can be pretty intense. Trust your limits, and, there is no shame in saying that something is too much for you or just not your kind of thing. If that happens to apply to you, then, I'll see you in the next video. Man, this is a really awkward angle for me. It's very person-like in figure. I don't like that. Okay, we can close the blinds now. I would like to have the blinds closed. Can you remember the color of your friend's eyes? No, not a single one. Sorry, no visual memory for me. Can you remember their birthday? No, not a single one. Sorry. Good. Thank you. I've been saying that that's good for years. Hey, what's good? I am Brant. How are you? Hopefully well, because with what we're going into, you'll need to have your you'll need to be in you'll need to have your wits about you. Let's put it like that, I guess. So today we're gonna play Without a Dawn is what it's called. I only know a couple of things about this game. I know that it is a relatively short game, probably an hour or less. I know that it's a relatively cheap game, under $10. So if I might play through the whole game in this one video. If I do, feel free to go buy the game and maybe gift it to somebody who you think will enjoy it. It deals with some heavy subject matter, of which I don't exactly know what at this point, and I know that it has an unbelievable art style, which, to be honest, is the reason why I got it. I saw a couple frames of it and I thought this looks so cool. I have to see more of this game. I try to bring a certain thoughtful analysis and perspective onto the games that I play on this channel, and I think this game will require that to its fullest extent from the sound of it, because it sounds a little intense. That's the only thing that's got me nervous. But you know what? Let me stop yapping, and let's just get into it. And yeah, I believe this is like a solo developer sort of game. I always find projects like that kind of interesting. I actually like the high pitch. So I've got tinnitus a little bit, and this doesn't actually remind me of that. This just reminds me of like a TV or some sort of like power hum. Without a Dawn contains content that some players may find disturbing or triggering. So, use your own discretion, of course. Would you like to see the content warnings, including possible spoilers? I'm going to say no, but I will include content warnings at the beginning of this video. Nice sound design already. Okay, I'm going in blind. I'm going in without any sort of context. Not really. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. I apologize, but I'm unable to locate a saved data file. Oh. Okay. Yeah, let's start a new game then. Now, let's get into it. Are you awake? That's the big question we all must ask sometimes. Open your eyes. What now or ignore? Oh, So that sort of implies that the questioning was diegetic narration. What now assumes that I heard the narrator and am in conversation with them. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You're feeling anxious. Oh, therapy. Therapy. She's laying down on a couch. She's reclined. You've been tossing and turning in your bed for a while now. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. Sleep doesn't seem to be coming. You have a feeling that someone is watching you. Paranoia. Someone may be standing behind the window. I would say there's no one there. I would assure myself of what I know to be true, most likely. How can you be so sure? You need to get up and check the window. It'll take but a moment. You'll be back in your bed in no time. I'm gonna do nothing. It may not be the right choice with how ominous this game feels already. I don't know the full nuance of this person's mindset, but they are having like an internal dialogue, I guess, is what's happening. When I feel these sorts of feelings, which is not super often, but when I do, I just reassure myself that, like, you know, today is no different than yesterday, and yesterday there was nothing wrong. So, in all likelihood, today there is nothing wrong. So I'm going to do nothing for now. You will not be able to sleep. Illusion of choice, it appears. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's fun. Floppy disk. Took me a second to remember what it's called. It's been a while. Remember to breathe. Oh, so that's a window. But don't get too caught up in listening to the sound of your breath. Let it come naturally, okay? Trick yourself into thinking something else. You are safe. I am safe. Can you see movement through the cracks in the window blinds? No. Can you see the shadows shifting? Well, a little bit. Everything's got kind of a jiggle to it. Just a little bit. There's something or someone out there. I don't think there is. But I suspect that I will have to open the window blinds. But I'm going to say do nothing because I want to see if it pushes me to that option again. And if it does, what does it say in response to that? You can't sleep unless you look. Okay? Our brain is really pushing us. Oh, it's a tree. Man, that looks so cool. Tree branches swaying in the wind. You must feel relieved. Yeah, sure. And there's no leaves on it, so this has to be, you know, later in the year. Nice weather. I love a swaying tree. It's very silent. Except for that high pitch hum. You came here to find quiet. But you've come to miss the sounds of the city. The restless noises coming from the streets. Even those that are violent. Yet, they somehow brought you comfort compared to this maddening silence. Here, you thought you could unwind and rediscover yourself. Find what the hell is wrong with you. It is true that in silence you can hear yourself more clearly. Yeah, in true silence, you can hear the blood rushing through your ears. But you have to get to like an anechoic chamber for that kind of silence. Oh yeah, you can hear yourself. Technically you can even when you're not in that kind of silence, but the sound of everything else overpowers it. I suspect doing nothing will result in nothing. So I'll head back to bed. Wait. Aren't you forgetting something? To close the blinds. Sure. What do you want? Slightly more hostile. You need to close the window blinds, yeah. I wasn't forgetting. I know. I never leave my blinds open. At night, no thanks. Leaving them open makes you anxious. Absolutely. It's so much easier to see in. I feel a lack of privacy. There we go. You made it back to your bed. You are safe. Nothing bad happened. You can fight it. You have the strength to overcome it. But you need to understand what you're dealing with. Do you think it's all in your head? Whatever it is I'm fighting, it probably is. The brain is a complicated thing. It can make you experience some wacky and bizarre things. You can rely on logic. Yeah, I like to think I can through a lot of my life. It's your best connection to reality. Truly, it is one of our best grasps on reality. Once you get into the philosophy of it, you could argue, we can rely on nothing except that we ourselves exist, because all of our ability to perceive the world relies on flawed input. Our eyes have flaws. We have blind spots in our eyes. They have a limited perspective. They perceive limited spectrums of light. They fail over time. They are subject to illusion. Well, I guess that's the brain, not the eyes. But, there are all sorts of flaws with eyes. You get the same thing with ears. You get the same thing with taste and smell and touch. And all of these things are flawed. But they're our best option for having any sort of perceptive ability of the world. And so in order to make sense of that, we use logic. And logic allows us to verify our different senses, saying, well, if this is true and this is true, then this fibrous connective tissue of logic must be true. And it helps us sort of fact check ourselves when it comes to trying to understand reality. You are tired. You need sleep. You know I'm going to close my eyes. Love to do that every day. One of my favorite activities. Ooh. Dream? Okay. 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This dream is kind of boring. This is not a cool dream. Let me float. I had a dream the other day where somebody called me a slur, and I got very upset. And I don't know. I kind of ruined their life a little bit in my dream. Question? The passage of time seems different here. Yeah, it does seem a little inconsistent, I guess. The arms of the clock are going back and forth. You find it difficult to experience such irrationality. If there's sense to any of this, it's not visible. Next stream. Hell yeah, next stream. I'm going to turn this down in my ears a little bit. It is kind of loud. I am the man. Ooh. I can hear Morse code. Because this is giving me flavors of a world war, some atrocities kind of stuff. I am the man in a gas mask, and I ask you this. How many fingers am I holding up behind my back? I'm going to go with the one. How many fingers am I holding up behind my back? So was I right? 6. Oh, we're just going to keep guessing, huh? 11. You have failed me with your answers. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm going to play again. Oh. Could it be the times on the clock? Perhaps? I don't think it ever went past 6 o'clock. Your answers ring true. Oh. Brain blast. This interaction represents the beginning of our connection. Huh. Okay. Acknowledge my existence. Oh. I'll stay for a little while. Your dream has come to an end. Okay, then I guess I won't stay. The sort of screams in the background are a bit haunting. Wake up. Tough night. I always only ever remember my worst dreams. Usually not like that. Usually not quite so cerebral and haunting. Did you find the dream unsettling? Yeah, a bit. Do you believe there was more to it? Truthfully, no. But would that make for an interesting story? Yes. Yes. Now, how do I play this, though? Do I maintain myself as a student of logic who is answering honestly and truthfully and earnestly? Or do I do the more interesting answer? She is probing her mind to try to find out if there is truly meaning in the dream. I guess I would say no. I would say no, but I am compelled by yes. You couldn't connect with the dream. Yet it made you feel something. It did. He spoke with great concern. Do you think he tried to tell you something? There could be a pattern or meaning in his words. Put your head to work. Well, I mean, if there is pattern or meaning, it is pattern or meaning that I imbued upon him as the host of the dream. It is pattern or meaning that is already within me. 1 + 6 is 7. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight it. Let's just go forward with it. 7 + 3 is 10. I want to sleep. You must get this out of the way first. Still middle of the night, I guess? 10 + 5 is 15. Of course. Of course. It's all making sense now. 15. 15. You keep seeing this number. Oh no, are we doing what was that Jim Carrey movie where you keep seeing the number all over the place? Some real numerology type shit. 15. 15. 15. Would you knock it off? You seem anguished. Yeah, you keep saying 15 in my head. I'm trying to go sleep. It is hard for you to fall asleep. You need to check the window again. Bro, again? It will help alleviate your stress. There is no one there. I don't want to. I want to say there's no one there. I know this. You don't know that. I mean, factually, they're right. I don't know that. But I can make a logical inference that it is almost certainly true. And there is no evidence to suggest otherwise. There are a lot of things in life that we do not know that we believe to be true because logic suggests so. And if we do not use these tools to navigate the world, then we cannot progress. And I think that is something she is struggling with right now. She is not able to progress because she does not trust herself enough, or she does not trust these tools and techniques to understand and navigate the world. It is difficult for you to resist the urge. You know you should try harder. You can start tomorrow. You can slip this one time. You're back in your bed in no time. Ignore. It will make you feel better. This also might be like sort of obsessive compulsive behavior. All right, quickly. No tree. Tree just doesn't exist anymore? You can't see the trees anymore. Yeah. Am I still in a dream? Is this another dream? You're trying to understand why. Yeah, it does seem odd. Could it be a dense fog hindering the view? That'd be pretty cool. I'm never awake early enough to see the fog. I miss it. I like fog. You're probably right. Wait. Can you see movement in the distance? Oh, maybe. Like right in the middle? That could be pareidolia, though. Oh, yeah, it's definitely moving. Oh, yeah. Should the fog hide the shape like it hid the trees? It's very person-like in figure. I don't like that. Okay, we can close the blinds now. I would like to have the blinds closed. Oh, and it's getting closer. You must find this perplexing. I guess. And it's getting closer. You don't know what you're looking at. I do know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a human-shaped figure. Approaching closer and closer. It appears as if the shadow is bleeding into the fog surrounding it. It's a hell of a way to describe it. It is coming this way. That's what I've been saying. Close the blinds. It is slowly growing its presence. The shape is becoming increasingly distinct. Bro, get out of here. It resembles a human. That it does. Go open the door and kick their ass. You cannot trust your eyes. You are alone here. There's no one here besides you. Is this a hallucination? It's only you and your shadow. How great would that be if this is me as I'm walking closer to the window and there's like a little bit of background lighting on the wall behind me or whatever, and I'm just seeing my own reflection on the glass of the window. Do nothing. I want to see what happens. How long can you stand this dissonance? Bro, I like jazz. I can listen to dissonance all day. Okay, one more time and then I'll close the blinds. Oh, new dialogue. I didn't expect that. You can end it now. Oh, well now I gotta push it. Oh, okay. Now it's just gonna be the pluses. Okay, close the blinds. Did that really happen? Have I lost my mind? If you reason, you'll realize there's unlikely anyone out there. True? You must be startled, though. Your heart is racing. Your breathing is shallow. Your legs are growing numb. The cold sweat is about to break as your skin turns pale. Don't let it go that far. Try to calm your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You know, once it goes into the nose, you hold it for a couple seconds. You let the the oxygen absorb into your lungs. It's a good way to slow your heart rate. Also, while you're exercising, you can do that. Think of something entirely different. Okay. Think of the last movie you saw. What was the last movie I saw? I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Try to remember the lyrics of your favorite song. I've got favorite movies, but I don't have favorite songs. I mean, I've got favorite songs. I've got songs that I like listen to regularly that I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed that song. But I don't have like a singular one or couple of songs. It's always just like, what is the song that like fits the state of mind I'm trying to achieve right now? And some of them don't have lyrics. Some do. That's just songs for you. Some have lyrics and some don't. Good. You're starting to stabilize. You're slowly gaining back your strength. Good, so I can go out there and kick that guy's ass. Although, given these sort of like unreliable narrator sort of vibes we're attributing to the protagonist, maybe going outside and kicking some random person's ass is probably not warranted and is maybe a bit dangerous to suggest. You feel shaken and want to return to your bed. Always. It is the only place where you feel safe. That's tough. But first, you must take another look, just in case. Just in case. Add more data points. That's the experimental mindset. That's the scientific method. All right, here we go. Yellow? Oh, it's the trees again. Yeah. Okay, so they're very much setting up that you cannot trust yourself. The trees are back. You feel relieved seeing the trees again. Yeah, sure. I get that. You are sure it was only your imagination. It was nothing but a feverish dream. Well, I wouldn't go so far as to that. This might be the kind of thing that you bring up to your primary care physician. You should return to your bed. I do agree with that. What if I do nothing? Do you feel like you need a moment? Yeah, I like looking at the trees sway. Take all the time you need. Okay, let's go to bed. You made it back to your bed safely. Okay. You're tired and craving for sleep. The morning will come, and everything will look brighter and more hopeful. You'll be fine once you get some rest. Time to close your eyes. All right, dream time, baby. Oh, there's always a lighthouse. This art style is so sick. Okay, so that was... There's 3 flashes. Oh, there's more. So the first 3 were ascending in pitch, and the second set was descending in pitch. I'm trying to be observant in case I get quizzed on this in the next dream. Okay, those are the same notes as the first set. So I'm guessing this is a cycle that loops. The sound of the waves has a unique quality to it. Can you hear the unexplainable clarity in its character? Yeah. I don't think it's unexplainable, but yeah. Can you hear the waves whispering distant words? No. Sorry. I can't. That sounds very poetic, though. You don't believe their unnatural sound belongs to the sea. Okay. The energy passing through the water comes from somewhere unknown. Yet, you find the waves calm and peaceful amidst the sad melody. I do. You embrace this beautiful harmony. I mean, I talk about this a little bit in my art video on Emergent Beacon, but some schools of thought will find the music in just natural sound that is not typically considered musical, because all sound has frequency, and frequency is both rhythm and melody at the same time, depending on how fast or slow it is. And so I do find that there is a musicality to the waves. I do hear the beauty in the blending of this and the lighthouse. You're breathing slowly and deeply. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of nice that our protagonist has a rather pleasant dream after the first set. Your body and mind are weightless and free from worry. It's rare to achieve such tranquility. You find it difficult to experience both extremes. Your darkness has overshadowed the light for too long. It wasn't always like this. It doesn't always need to be like this. Yeah, brain chemistry is tough. Next stream. No, we're back at it. I'm the man in a gas mask, and I ask you this. Can you bear my silence? Okay. Are you sending me code and these plus signs? It is difficult for me. It makes me anxious. Your silence. I'm just gonna say it makes me anxious. That feels right. Okay. What is wrong in my silence? Your silence has the wrong pattern. Your silence is unbalanced. These both feel very similar. I personally would probably say unbalanced, but I feel like our protagonist would say wrong pattern with the way that they've been portrayed so far. What is wrong with the pattern of my silence? Your silence misses a dot. Ah, yes, the pluses. Sorry, I saw 14 dots and I was trying to count the Morse blips, and I think I counted something like 9 or 10. So it definitely wasn't 14. Yeah, I'm counting like 9-ish. Your silence misses a dot. 6, 12, 14. Yeah. How many dots should my silence hold? One more. I understand. 3. Oh, they were saying 15 earlier. Or we were saying 15 earlier once we woke up. Of course, it's all making sense now. 15. 3. So right now they are imprinting the number 3 on me so that in the future I may answer 3. Oh, or they're saying 3 groups, or a group of 3, a group of 3, a group of 3, a group of 3, a group of 3. 15. I have corrected my silence. Thank you. It's very considerate. Who are you? What do you want from me? I would rather ask who they are. That is more interesting to me. I am the one who can show you the truth. Okay. I can help you look past the veil. I assumed the shape of a shadow. Oh. Okay. I came to your cabin. Yeah, I saw that. I will not let you exist in a lie. It is concerning that presumably my mind has fabricated this person who I am seeing in both my dreams and while awake. That is concerning. My silence is now also yours. Uh-oh. Follow this newly found connection. Go to the birdhouse. You'll find something hidden under its detached roof. I'll stay for a moment. Your dream has come to an end. Okay. Wait, how many silences is that? 13, 14, 15. It's not bunched up, so it's harder to count. Has it always been 15? Or did it change to 15 after that dream? That is a question only I can answer for myself once I'm editing this video. Yeah, up until this point, all of the silences were definitely 14. I had to double check. Another strange dream. The man in a gas mask appeared to you again. Does that seem uncanny to you? No, I have repeated dreams often. Well, not often, but often enough that it is notable. I'll sometimes have dreams that it's like, oh, I haven't had that dream in a number of years. Interesting that one came back. Huh. No, that doesn't seem uncanny to me. Rigorous logic. That just is a thing that happens. You don't consider that strange? Well, the dream is a bit strange, but the fact that it has repeated is not that strange. Surely you must be at least intrigued. Oh, well, yeah, I'm intrigued. You think he spoke convincingly, but it's hard for you to accept that a dream would hold any truth. Exactly. You consider yourself logical, but don't want to rule anything out. Well said. You can sense things you can't hear or see. Sure. The spiritual side of you may follow some secret logic. Well, that's a fun idea. A logic that has yet to be discovered. You're tired of this recurring conflict in your head. Be that as it may. You can't stop thinking about what he said. Should you go outside and check the birdhouse? Yeah, sure. There's likely nothing hidden inside. But you must verify it to get it out of your head. Then maybe you can finally sleep. It's still the middle of the night. Girl, get some sleep. It's going to rain soon. Oh, I love a good night rain. Normally, you would love some rain. Yeah, absolutely. The sound has a calming effect on you, like the waves. But you don't want to get wet. I mean, it's not that bad, right? Especially if you're out there for like 3 minutes or something, just walking through the rain a little bit. It's not a big deal. You better get going before it starts raining. You know what? Do nothing. You need to make haste. All right. You should have worn a coat. Yeah, it sounds chilly. Really cool visual. This bitter autumn wind is chilling to the bone. Tell me where that's at. I want to live there. Yet, you find it refreshing. Yeah, I do that. When it gets properly cold, I like to drive with the windows down, even though it's like colder than I'm comfortable with, because I just want to feel it while I can. I just want to feel that discomfort. There is something purifying and healing about the wind. I feel like that's not far off from the truth. Perhaps the physical sensation on your skin tricks your mind into focusing solely on it. A little bit of a distraction from the mind. I thought I saw a flash. I was kind of looking over to the side, but yeah, it appears it's a thunderstorm rolling in with some lightning. The wind makes you feel more connected with this world. Yeah. But then again, what the hell are you doing here? It's the middle of the night. You're standing outside, catching a cold because you had a dream. I can't remember a single time in my life I have ever caught a cold. But I'm never outside, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Would a sane person act like this? Okay, well, let's not start throwing sanity around. You don't think it matters, do you? No one is sane. You don't care whether you are of sound mind or not. Compos Mentis is the name of one of my short films that I made. Still in high school, just out of high school, something like that with my brother. Compos Mentis. Legal determination of sound mind. All you want is to feel better. You want to wake up feeling calm and confident. You need to find a way to prevent yourself from falling into negative thoughts. And put on some YouTube. Watch this channel. It's going to rain soon. It is. You need to get to the birdhouse. I'm going to resist. Are you trying to catch a cold? Perhaps. Shouldn't you get going? Okay, I'll go. You are here by the birdhouse. Now, that storm's really kicking up. That distant thunder. Love it. Do you still want to do this? Yeah, I mean, we're already here. You're not sure you have a choice. Fair. I feel like your hands are tied. I feel like the game is trying to let me feel like I have a choice when I do not. Much like the protagonist. Can you see the spot where the ground looks different? No. The ground is bare of leaves and branches. Someone has been here recently. Or at least our mind has convinced us of that. As you realize this, can you feel your heart beating irregularly? Can you feel the sense of dread creeping in? So we're having another episode. Another anxiety attack, another delusion, perhaps. This fear creates a gap in your psyche you can't control. It's overpowering your thoughts and even memories, recoloring and forging them formless. But you must not give in. You try not to lose yourself in your thoughts, not when they are at their darkest. You can feel it coming again. It is, it's tough. I have a few fears in life. One of them is certainly like losing control of my mind or losing my ability to properly analyze and perceive the world around me and myself through it. A lot of that is rooted in Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that. I think that's very scary, but I can definitely see shades of that here as well. That particular brand of fear. It is interesting that this protagonist seems to be able to feel it coming on. I guess I can kind of relate to it through anxiety, because I have quite a lot of anxiety that I've dealt with my entire life. Once I started to understand that I have anxiety and that I struggle with it and that I have anxiety attacks, And once I started to learn what causes them and all that stuff, suddenly I could like recognize I have found myself in a scenario where my anxiety is building, and I can feel when it's about to topple over. I can feel when it is going from I'm uncomfortable to I am going to disassociate and be unable to function. I can feel that thin manifold. And I feel like she kind of has a similar thing here, but with like a mixture of anxiety and some form of schizophrenia or some other sort of like a mental disorder or something like that. Although in her case, I feel like it's a little bit more difficult to figure out when you're out of it. I guess with my anxiety, there is a little bit of a tail of coming out of it, where you're sort of in a mushy middle area where it's like, I'm still not recovered from the anxiety attack, but I am better than at my most debilitated state. And it takes a while to kind of just feel normal again. Whereas with her, there's always an underlying questioning of, am I back to normal? Your breath is turning shallow. Allow your lungs to breathe without you intervening. You must think of something else. The birdhouse looks a little bit like a skull. I mean, like a skull with one big giant eyeball in the center. You know, it comes down and it's got the cheek contour and the top teeth. Can you remember the color of your friend's eyes? No, not a single one. Sorry, no visual memory for me. Can you remember their birthday? No, not a single one. Sorry. Good. Thank you. I've been saying that that's good for years. Good. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so there's still lightning and thunder, but the music is a little less ominous. You can feel a sense of relief washing over you. Okay, so this is like her coping mechanism. It's happening, you know. The static is coming through. So like, let me distract myself, let me ground myself in a certain way by thinking of these other things that I know are like logical truths in my life. Let me just remind myself of like what is real. And then it kind of helps smooth her out of it. Possibly. You're safe. Hey, that's progress. Earlier, we only felt safe in bed. And right now, we feel safe. Even though we're out... Oh, that was an owl. I thought they were going to start playing like the Morse code from the Gas Mask Man, which would be very scary. Also, we're not safe. It's the... If you can hear thunder, you shouldn't be outside. You have to remain sheltered for like 15 to 30 minutes after the last thunder that you hear. So we're not safe, but like, I get what they mean. You're ready to search the birdhouse. Different kind of safe. I am ready. What do you expect to find? Not much, although if we do find something, one, I would question whether it is truly there. Two, I would question whether if something is there, did I put it there and subconsciously reminded myself of it? But that would be a little concerning that I might do something and not remember it. I expect to find nothing. If you go by the logic, that is the most likely outcome. True. But you need to see it for yourself. Confirm and verify. Only then can you get this out of your system. Something I am finding is they use that reasoning often. Just do a thing and get it out of your system. Just do a thing and you won't have to think about it anymore. But there is always another thing. There is always something else in the system. I don't know that we're really progressing. It's like her brain has an itch and it's like, just scratch the itch and it'll stop itching. and then you do that and something else starts itching. There's only one way to find out. Do nothing. Are you having second thoughts? No. I just wanted to steel myself. Remove the roof. Okay. It's a whole ass gas mask. Okay. We got a box. Kind of odd. Oh, a little penguin on our shirt. That's cool. She's a Linux user. You cannot believe it. You discovered a box hidden in the birdhouse. You must be terrified. You don't understand what this means. Could the man in the gas mask assume a physical form? You're trying to wrangle this deeply unsettling question. I think it's more likely that we placed the box in there, do not remember it, and have manufactured the man with the gas mask to remind ourselves of this. But I do prefer stories where the man in the gas mask does physically manifest, because that is a more compelling and interesting supposition. But you struggled to find an explanation. Do you believe it was he who hid the box? I'm gonna maintain my logical rigor for now. You believe there's a logical explanation. I do. But you need time to understand what has happened. That's fair. You find it also very confusing. Be that as it may, I like the way that this is written. There's a little bit of narrative, like rhetorical devices that are being used, like this repetition, be that as it may. It gives your brain a little bit of room to really sit with the ideas. I think this kind of repetition puts you in a slightly more analytical mindset and allows you to open up a little bit to this style of presentation. Someone placed the box here recently. Can you feel your sense of security fading away? How do we know it was recent? You might not be here alone after all. This frightening thought is starting to grow in you. You must be wondering what's inside the box. Oh, I am. You should get back inside first. Good idea. I'll just go straight to the cabin. You're standing at the front of the cabin. Why would you stop here? The front door is ajar. I'm gonna say nothing. You're trying to remember if you left the front door open. You left so hurriedly that you didn't even remember to take your coat. You were distracted and not thinking straight. It would make sense if you also forgot to close the front door. What you gotta do is you've gotta do a sweep. Okay? Sweep every room in succession. I actually had a neighbor who had a similar experience to this. I mean, not with the not trusting themselves, but with the front door left open. I guess this was a couple of years ago at this point. They came by my apartment and they're like, hey, can you just like stand by my door while I check it out? Just in case. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Ended up not being a problem. They just forgot to lock their door. Yet, there have been numerous strange occurrences. Yes, numerous strange occurrences, but occurrences that we cannot rule out have not been manufactured by ourselves. You don't know what to believe anymore. It all feels so confusing and empty to you. Don't let that numbness devour joy from the things you love. You didn't stop caring. There's something constantly out of sync, like two cogs that never align at the right time. You came here to heal. What did you wish to find? More things to live for, more things to die for. Well, always more things to live for, ideally. There are plenty of things to die for out in the world. We have to search for things to live for. You want to find something new, or to revive something old. You understand what you need. It's only a matter of how. Can we focus on the door for a second? For a second. This is a conversation we could be having with ourselves indoors. We've got a mysterious box with something possibly in it, and we don't know what it is or where it came from or how it got here, and we've got a door ajar. We can worry about our aspirations in a minute. You should get inside and see what the box holds. Thank you. That was just 2 button clicks away from the game catching up to me. Okay, well, if you're going to offer me the option to hesitate, let's hesitate for a second. Are you still considering the possibility someone else left the door open? Well, yeah. That's why we got to do a sweep. You can't stay outside. Okay. What's in the box? You made it safely back inside. Is there a clock? Or is that the sound of me bobbing up and down the box? It is in sync. Also, our shirt now shows 2 penguins. I don't know if it was always 2 penguins and we only saw 1, or if it is now 2. It could be symbolic. You made it safely back inside. But you're so fixated on the box that everything else around you disappears. The way you hold the box effortlessly indicates it's light. You're trying to deduce its contents based on its weight. Your thoughts are racing. It's like Christmas. Trying to figure out what's in the gift. Violent images are surfacing in your mind. Okay, well, chill out. Chill out. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. There could be something horrible in the box. Could be. Why do you think of the darkest things first? That's a good question. Is it easier for you to dwell on such thoughts? I think maybe it's like a preparedness thing, right? You prepare for the worst thing. It's almost always going to be better than the worst thing. So if you can prepare for the worst, and if you can handle that, then you could definitely handle whatever is going to actually happen. But that's me applying logic to sometimes the way that people's brains work cannot necessarily be attributed to a logical, premeditated thought. Be that as it may, there's our repetition. You should open the box. Yeah, probably. Not sure I want to. I'm scared of what I'll find. The fear of the unknown. I respect that. Yeah, I think being afraid of what we'll find is more honest, because I do kind of want to. My curiosity outweighs my fear in this particular case. I not only want to know what's in the box, I have to know what's in the box. But I am a little afraid of what could be in there. Anyone would hesitate in your situation. But you know you can't let this slide. That seems to also be a repetition. They like to use that phrase, letting it slide, to indicate whether they're willing to give in to their neuroses, whether they're willing to give in to the compulsive thought. They know that the good hygiene approach is to not give in to the thought. But every once in a while, as a treat, they let it slide and give in to the thought. But they do it again and again and again and again. And they think, oh, well, if I give in to the thought this time, I won't need to later. A thought will come up later, or maybe even this own thought will resurface later. And I won't need to give in to it then because I've already let it slide once and I've already indulged myself and I'll feel satisfied and I can move on. But I don't think their brain quite works like that. You found something at the location indicated by your dream. You're trying to comprehend it. But you can't come to a logical conclusion with the information you've got. Well, I did, but our protagonist may not be able to. She's too close to it. You need to open the box and see what you can learn. I want to do nothing for a moment, just because I know that open the box progresses, and I do want to hear all of the little flavor text. Are you afraid opening the box makes everything somehow more real? It's a good question. Do you think it's some trick? You found a phone inside the box. Okay. Was that like a Galaxy Fold? Something? Looks kind of like a Nintendo DS. Oh, is that one of those like one of those mid-aughts phones where it's like you slide it, like it's kind of wide, and then you slide it open, and then it's got like the physical keyboard on the bottom? Like one of those? That'd be pretty sick. And the arms are still synced to the clock. Something's going on there. Upon closer examination, you notice something unsettling. Isn't that your phone? I want to say it can't be. Unless I put it there. Where did the box come from? You're confused. You're trying to understand how this is possible. You must be aware of how unusual this is. It is. It is quite unusual. How did your phone end up in the box? Rationalize, or how the hell should I know? I think there are some situations where even I relent to, I don't know, man, just doesn't make sense. But no, I think in this scenario, I'm not pressured by anything outside of the fact that I want to go back to sleep. So I would probably rationalize. I would probably try to figure out, like, okay, how exactly could this have possibly happened? I would definitely try to rationalize. You're still able to act reasonably after all this bewilderment. Your ability to reason may be the key to unlocking the truth. Could be. Try to remember the last time you used your phone. Great. Retrace our steps. Yes. Now, I don't think these steps are ever going to lead to us placing the phone in a box and hiding it in the birdhouse without us remembering, unless we also accept that we're an immensely unreliable narrator. I can't seem to remember. I don't know. I can't seem to remember. Can you recall when you arrived at this cabin? Oh, are we going Alan Wake with it? Are we doing an Alan Wake? I came to this cabin to write my manuscript.
I told myself I could rest here.
Check it out without me.
Sleep here. And forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
Try to remember. Stay quiet. I would stay quiet because I would be quite unnerved by the fact that I can't remember. You have no recollection of how you got to this place. Now that you reflect on it, you don't know where you are. This place is unfamiliar to you. You don't know how long you've been here. Coming to realize this must be frightening. Is it possible that you were the one to hide the phone? See, that's what I'm saying. I think it is certainly possible. You came here to seek solitude, to get your head straight. Your phone serves as a window to a world filled with violence and hypocrisy. Ah, okay. That actually is solid reasoning, solid logic, I think. She came here to sort of get away from it all. She was like, well, I can't trust myself to not check Twitter. I can't trust myself to not check, you know, the constant buzzing, staticky noise of the world. I can't trust myself to not check Reddit and be shown, you know, a video of somebody being brutalized by police, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So to do like a proper cleanse, I'm going to take my phone, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put it in this box. I'm going to stow it away somewhere, hide it, so that way I can just be disconnected. Smart. Odd that she doesn't remember that, and she has to be told that by her second self. But that doesn't make sense. You couldn't look the other way. You needed an exit from all that. This is all that. Sorry, let's refocus. You may have decided to resist temptation by tucking away your phone. Does that sound like something you would do? It's possible. I don't believe it. I think it's possible. You find comfort in this assumption. You are mentally exhausted. You are not well. The night amplifies your thoughts. Honestly true. Honestly sane. That's why I'm up all night all the time. It's when I'm most productive. Everything feels more burdensome and impassable. Okay, amplifying different kinds of thoughts. Me and the protagonist, I think. You need to get some sleep. There could be clarity with the dawn. This is a metaphorical night because the title of the game is Without a Dawn. There is no clarity. There is no escaping. It is just an unending night. That's tough. Head back to bed. Stay. Are you still trying to understand how your phone ended up in the box? Things could become clearer in the morning. Yeah, if morning ever comes. Do you find it bizarre? Ignore. When you think of something specific, it tends to manifest in one way or another. How so? You may notice these things only when you pay attention to them. You find it somewhat uncanny, but believe there's really nothing else to it. But have you considered there could be something more? A greater truth. Sometimes you feel like you're viewing the world through this thin, transparent veil. You find it hard to believe anything is real. Do you ever find yourself consumed by compulsive thoughts? Thoughts that you don't share with anyone. Thoughts that cause you anxiety and stress. Sometimes even happy memories feel boundless and imperfect without a reason. The veil may not exist after all. It may be your mind trying to protect itself from prolonged stress. Maybe you should seek help? I think so. I got this. You may be right. I think you may be right. The longer it takes, the easier it is to procrastinate. There is some truth to that. I used to put a bunch of stuff up on my whiteboard over here. One of the things I would put up there was like, I need to get my pants hemmed. And once a little bit of time went by, I was like, oh, well, they could just stay up on the board. It's not that big of a deal. And then before I knew it, it had been like 6-8 months of hem your pants on the board. And then I realized, I'm just not going to do this. It took too long. You should think about it. Be that as it may. The best thing for you right now is to get some rest. I agree with that. It must be hard falling asleep after what you've been through. Keep repeating a simple word to calm your mind. Ma'am? You're screaming in the darkness, leaning against a cold concrete wall. You're looking at yourself with the eyes of someone else. That was scary. I felt a tingle in my damn toes. That's how scary that was. Something about the sound of that. Abrupt flashes of mindless gore. Your body is shaking and writhing without control. You're attempting to avert your gaze. But you can't tear your eyes away from the gray walls and the gray corner. I expected that one. You've seen flashes of a triangular silhouette on the horizon. It is towering on the black water, waves as its pulse, brown noise as its voice. Feel another one coming on? It is calling you. Urgency, disarray, despair, shame, panic, silence. But only briefly. A mere echo of the screams remains. You are furthering away. You are floating to safety. Oof. That's a tough dream, lady. That is a tough dream. He returns. I'm the man in a gas mask, and I ask you this. Do you believe in my existence? Insofar as you are a part of me, yes. As an independent person, no. I think I will say yes through that context, because I don't think the protagonist will seek help until she recognizes that this is a part of her and that this is a real struggle. Sometimes we compartmentalize things as like, oh, it's just in my mind. You're paranoid about something and you're like, oh, that's just all in my mind. And it's like, yeah, that's something you should pay attention to because your mind is important. While it doesn't mean that it is the thing that you are paranoid about is physically real, that doesn't mean that the thing that you felt is not real. It's a different kind of real. So through that context, I will say yes. Will you trust my benevolence? I don't think you've earned that yet, bud. Will you accept my truth? Well, I mean, you have a pretty good track record so far, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I guess if I'm approaching this logically, empirically, outside of being a manifestation of my mind, you have not demonstrated that you are not truthful. If I lead, will you follow? Ooh. Not implicitly. Hey, 15 dots. You seem hesitant, but I only want to help you. You have been confined for too long. You need to see what's on the other side of the veil. I can show you. Okay, that sounds cool. I'm game. The path is concealed within the gallery. This game is a little bit longer than I expected, although I am a notorious yapper. I have been talking a lot. It looks like you won't be getting any sleep. You can't shake the image of the man in a gas mask from your head. Do you think he is malevolent? He seems that way. I don't think he is. So, do I think that he means harm? From an aesthetic perspective, he has all of the trappings of somebody who means harm. He is surrounded by flames, wearing a gas mask, talking enigmatically. That does not scream, I come in peace. I'm here to help you. However, his words do not seem nefarious or malevolent. I don't think he is, necessarily. But I don't know for sure. You find him suspicious. That I do. Very much so. But he has done you no harm. Not yet, anyway. Maybe he's trying to help you. You need closure. You need to find clarity amid this dissonance. You are tired of temporarily mending your well-being. You want to find something long-lasting. Isn't that the reason you came here? You must make it through the night. Maybe you should listen to the man in a gas mask. Maybe he is the only one who can help you. I mean, I did listen to him with regard to the birdhouse. I don't know how. I don't know if I can. I don't know how. You need to step outside the logic. Maybe there's a clue in what he said. 15 and 3. You remember him mentioning a gallery? Yes. Could it mean the gallery on your phone? Oh, like your Photos app? Maybe. Could be worth a look. You don't want to question the logic. $2:15. Quite a lot of night left. Are you worried about what you might find? It could be nothing. You unlocked your phone. The gallery is already open. It is a picture of the cabin you are in. You must have taken this photo upon your arrival, even though you can't remember doing so. There are no more recent pictures available. This is the latest photo. Okay. It is a picture of your friends. You remember the day you took this photo. Okay, that's good. Some sort of anchor of memory. It was an unusually sunny and warm mid-fall day. You all went out to enjoy the sunshine and a few drinks. Later, it started pouring like never before. You were all wet and cold, but happy at the end of the day. It is a memory to treasure for you. You are wondering how your friends are doing. Do you think you have been a good friend? You feel like you have taken your friends for granted. You should call them more frequently. Ask them how they're doing more often. Do not let them fade out of your life. You will need them and their laughter. Ah. Hey, dog. You're still struggling to watch photos of her. She passed away recently. You miss her so much that there are no words to describe it. A lot of videos with the unfortunate dogs on this channel lately. Do you feel like you let her down? You knew she was old and not well. You did the right thing by letting her go. Deep down inside, you understand and accept this. There will come a day when grief turns into a fond memory. Yeah, that's tough. It is a picture of an old mill. You find it somehow familiar. You have seen it near the cabin. Yet you cannot remember taking this picture. A sense of dread is starting to build within you as you realize the order of the photos. So she had been here in the past, back when her dog was still alive, before she had a fun day with her friends, and yet she does not remember something that far back. You took this picture before your dog passed away. This image is months old. You don't remember when you came here, but you're sure you came here after saying goodbye to your dog. Your head is trying to process this paradox. Have you been here before? Have you already done all this? Are you trapped in some unnatural cycle? Everything has been such a blur to you lately. Be that as it may, can you see something strange in this image? No? Is it a person? You find it difficult to discern what you are looking at. Oh, in the window? Yeah, I think there is something in the window, at least. Zoom in. Ooh. Spooky. What did you think you saw? There was someone in the photo. Yeah. It wasn't you. Well, no, I took the photo. Probably. You must have taken the photo. I would think so. You must find the current turn of events terrifying. This is the moment when your logic begins to fail you. The great disorder in your head is spiraling out of control. You can feel it physically bounding your head, attempting to break free. My approach in this situation, I mean, it's hard to say because my brain is wired differently than her brain, so our approach to logic may be quite different. But what I would probably do is I would ground myself by saying, okay, that doesn't make sense to me right now, but what does make sense to me is right now I am in this cabin. Right now I am in this bed. Right now this is my phone. Right now it is raining. These are things that are happening right now. This is my truth. I can figure everything else out later. But right now, this I can be certain of. And then you slowly push the boundaries of your knowledge to try to probe these disconnects. And you try to substantiate it through other perspectives when possible. Obviously, not all of this is possible if you're out here isolated. But, you know, if you could check with your friends to verify certain things, then that might also help. But that's me, like, over analyzing logically and doing that whole thing. There's no way for you to regain control. You've resisted for so long. You can't hold it any longer. You must surrender to chaos. What do you have to lose? Everything, yeah. I'd say. The things you are holding on to no longer have much value for you. You're starting to cave in. This amorphous mass of anxiety and stress have grown unbearable. It has physically begun to weigh down on your shoulders. The dawn could help alleviate some of your burdens, but you can't shoulder them for the night. You must act before you get crushed under all that weight. I feel like we're about to let something slide again. What should I do? I don't know how. I'm going to say I don't know how because what should I do looks so, relies so much on this second self. And I don't want to give up that kind of agency or control. Although I do like what should I do insofar as it is her asking for help. But is asking for help from the wrong person. Everything points toward finding the man in a gas mask. You must confront him if he's real. You must cast him away if he's a figment of your imagination. Go to the old mill. Seek out to him. Why should you have to deal with this torment any longer? There could be a way to lighten your burden. The front door is open yet again. Can you remember if you closed it? I'm not sure if I did. Well, the game didn't show it, so I'm not sure. You can't recall the exact moment. You didn't focus on remembering it. You were anxious earlier when you noticed the door was open. Surely you wanted to avoid repeating your mistake. A logical anchoring. I do this all the time with my memories, where you're like, well, this certainly happened. So that means logically this other thing must have happened because of this one thing that I'm much more certain about than the thing that I can't actually remember. So how come the door's open? I may have left it open. Someone else left it open. You feel that's the most likely explanation, but you can't be sure. It leaves you in a doubt. Suddenly, your thoughts are drawn to a strange feeling. Look at your left wrist, look at your right wrist. Does your hand feel numb? Sometimes you feel like there's something more than blood coursing through your veins. These thoughts come to you with urgency. You don't know why. Your thoughts are not related to anything concrete. They're just thoughts. It's like meditation. Try not to think about it. Instead, set your mind to the old mill. You're bound to find answers there. Why? This is magical thinking. Do you think you can endure through the night by staying here? Your mind is just one crack away from shattering. How strange. You feel more at ease now that you're out of the cabin. Previously, it was the other way around. A drizzling rain has replaced the chilly autumn wind. It's still cold outside, but you don't mind. You welcome it. Hell yeah. Any physical sensation draws you closer to reality. It guides you in the right direction and allows you to breathe more freely. You can feel the gravel beneath your feet more distinctly. A feeling that provides you comfort. A feeling that reassures you of your existence in this space. You are here. See, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, like ground yourself in the certainty. You are alive. If only you could feel such presence and connection more often. I love that. Oh. You think it's unfair. You're not a bad person. Why are you being tormented like this? You put on a brave face and pretend you're fine. Girl, go seek help. Talk to a doctor, please. You make sure they don't see how broken you are. But is that strength or quite the opposite? I don't think it's strength to not seek help. I wouldn't consider that weakness, but it is a burden you place on yourself unnecessarily. How much of yourself are you willing to keep hidden? Be that as it may, you should get going. This path leads to the old mill. Is it difficult for you to leave? The path to the old mill isn't long. The old mill lies just beyond the ridge. You're almost there. You thought you heard something. It sounded like a branch snapping nearby. A strange feeling comes over you as you realize you are not alone. Take a moment to steady your breath. It's swelling back up. It's swelling back up. Try to avoid paying too much attention to the sound of your breathing. Let it come naturally. Trick yourself into thinking something else. You got this, all right? Our coping mechanisms are kicking in. Can you see something moving in the distance? I can. It's a rabbit. No, it looks bigger than a rabbit. What the hell? It's so big. It's a bear. Whoa. It's coming this way. That is not the man in a gas mask. It's a grizzly bear. You must stay very still. Can you feel a surge of adrenaline kicking in? Your heart is thumping in your chest. Fight or flight. But you can't run. It would be suicidal to start running. You should retrace your steps slowly back the way you came. But your legs are feeling like jelly. You struggle to move them. You struggle to stand still. The tension has become intolerable. You must get out of this situation. You want to close your eyes and count to 10. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm a big believer in out of sight, out of mind, probably more than is healthy. I don't like I don't like that. Okay, we can close the blinds now. I do that thing with bugs. I've got a bug phobia. And I'm just like, if I can't see it anymore, it's probably not a problem. Live or die. Throw yourself to a chance. Are you afraid this could be the last time you close your eyes? You can't stand this tension much longer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice stereo panning. 5. Whoa. That stereo panning is really cool. Really kind of circled around my head. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Do you think the bear's still out there? Could be. Can't stand here all night. You're slowly looking at your surroundings, but you can't see the bear anymore. It didn't see you as a threat. You were defenseless, but it meant you no harm. It looks like you're safe. You had never encountered a grizzly before. You feel both shaken and exhilarated by this encounter. Bears have always been meaningful to you in some way. They periodically appear in your dreams. Do you believe your dreams are trying to tell you something? I'm going to say they're just dreams. Maybe so. But have you noticed how bears only appear in your dreams when things change? Be that as it may. You should get going. I gotta tell you, this is really straining my voice. This much narrating. The old mill is waiting for you just over that ridge. Don't you want to see this through? Are you having second thoughts? You are here at the old mill. The night has reached its darkest moment. There's very little light left. You feel the coldness differently when in darkness. You find it more piercing and desperate. You feel it's unforgiving and somehow more final. You no longer welcome it. The drizzle has soaked your clothes. You're tired and cold. The old mill looks deserted. The unpleasant scent of damp, swollen wood fills your nostrils. You're thinking of turning back, aren't you? Yeah, always. And who could blame you? You came all this way, but there's nothing here. This is such a hard pill to swallow for you. And deep down inside, you believed that you would find something here. Your heart skips a beat. The old mill comes alive. You're starting to feel dizzy due to the sudden rush of thoughts and emotions. You stand quietly, trying to steady your breathing and soothe your head. But there's no way to separate and organize your thoughts. They come like flashes. You can grab them briefly before you realize they're gone. How could anyone navigate their way through such cacophony? Broken words are spiraling from this chaos into your head. Oh. I am waiting for you. That's cool. You feel shaken and at your limit. You must focus all your remaining energy. He is waiting for you in the old mill. Don't you think you've come too far to stop here? No, there could be somebody living in there. I'm just gonna break into their house. Something is waiting for you in the old mill. All right, let's continue towards it. You're standing at the bottom of the stairs that lead to the old mill. You feel hesitant to take those steps. There is no clarity in the storm inside your head. Oh, is the storm metaphorical too? How could a philosophy and spirituality shake hands with logic? Where do you draw the line? For all that you know, these could be the first steps to psychosis. Or the last. You wish you could silence the voices in your head, but you can't. They're constantly looking for meaning. They're searching for anything to explain this mad world. It's a really interesting perspective. For this can't be all that there is. So here you stand, at the foot of your mountain. Are you ready to take these steps? I'm not ready. You need an explanation. Turning back is no option for you. You've reached the point of no return. The moment has come. Step first with the right leg or with the left leg? I would probably step first with the right leg because I'm right hand dominant. Fifth step. You can't take stairs without counting the steps. Some more of that obsessive compulsive behavior. I think. You haven't found a way to ignore the urge. And you're not even sure you'd want to. The number of steps could hold a deeper meaning. Oh, buddy. Buddy, the number of steps don't hold a deeper meaning. There may be a hidden and recurring pattern waiting to be revealed. I do see how, this framework of thinking is actually really compelling. I could never adopt this framework. One, because my brain isn't wired that way. I don't have the brain chemistry to fall into this framework. But also, it sounds so exhausting to find meaning in everything. I personally have a worldview where there is meaning in nothing except for what you put meaning into, which is scary in its own right. You know, it's kind of its own thing. But to find meaning in everything, meaning that is just beyond comprehension, it is scary in its own way. It is scary to feel so close to an unknown truth and have no way to attain it. That doesn't make much sense, does it? You feel conflicted, but you won't stop counting, not now. Does it feel like each step is getting narrower? Do you need time to gather your breath? Continue climbing. 10. You're nearly there, with just a few steps remaining. 15 steps. You can feel a cold shiver run repeatedly over your body. You're starting to breathe more consistently as the light from the mill grows brighter. It carries a sense of relief. It whispers a promise of warmth. It offers you shelter from this darkness. You're almost at the top. Does it feel like each step is getting steeper? Is the moss-covered handrail slippery to the touch? I love moss. We don't get any here in Texas. At least not where I'm at. "15 steps if you count the landing." 15! Called it. which you always do. "15 pauses in the silence. 15. Do you think it's yet another sign or a mere coincidence? I think it's neither. I think what happened is she has visited the old mill in the past. She always counts her steps. They have significance and meaning to her. So she knew that there were 15 steps here. Her subconscious, or her neuroses, wanted to urge her, wanted to compel her to go visit the old mill yet again. And that is an important detail to her, so it is reminding her of that detail before she gets there. It is not a sign, it is not a coincidence, it is a memory. It is a disguised memory. But in this case, I'll say sign because I feel like that's closest to memory. It is her own brain creating a sign, I guess. Does it feel like someone is calling you? Can you feel someone holding your hand, leading you here? You found the stairs to the old mill mentally draining. Both your body and mind are weary. Well, also, you didn't get any sleep and you have woken up multiple times and it's the middle of the night. Like, that's why you're so exhausted. But you're finally here. The storm is raging, as are your restless thoughts. There's nothing but this old door between you and the man in a gas mask. For the first time, could there be clarity in the chaos? A glimpse of hope? Take a deep breath. This is it. Yellow! Oh. Hey. That was cool. The transition from the triangle to his silhouette. Do not be afraid. I am no longer a mere shadow or a voice in your head. I led you here. I guided your hand with whispers into your ear. I permeated your dreams and thoughts like ink bleeds into the black water. I was born from silence. Oh, that was kind of cool. I have manifested from the shadow of the gray corner. I am night without a dawn. SOS? Makes sense. Why am I here? What do you want from me? That question again. I like this question better. Again. You have sensed something almost tangible in the darkness. You've come so close. You can almost reach out and touch it. But you still don't know what it is. Yet, you have heard the waves whisper of its existence. Listen closely. These waves are born from the pulse of the triangular pyramid. Will tie in with control, I think. The inverted pyramid. Yes, the one you've seen in your dreams. It stands on black water behind the all-distorting veil. Your search for something more has finally come to an end. You can find the truth that you've been craving for in the three faces of the pyramid. But it lies hidden behind the veil, which you can only perceive in darkness. Therefore, I had to challenge your logic and reason. I disguised myself in your silence. Oh, you can see a pyramid in his goggles. And maybe it's rotating around, it's a little unclear. I wore you out with the endless whispers from the quiet. I filled you with doubt and resentment. I introduced you to the necessary darkness. So you're to blame. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna kick your ass. See, I knew right from the beginning we should have kicked his ass. When we saw him in the fog, you're the source of all this anxiety and stress and paranoia and psychosis. I will show you the truth that is good and just. The truth that is concealed by the all-distorting veil. You're lying, stay quiet. I'll stay quiet. You have sensed there's more than meets the eye. You've known it for a long time. You must look past these things that are holding you here. I've observed your loved ones from the darkness. I've stood in the shadow of the gray corner. Oh, the image in his goggles has changed. What is it now? I think maybe this is like a radiation symbol? I've heard them quietly whisper their prayers. You are causing them heartache. You are a burden to them. That can't be right. Logic and reasoning. Logic and reasoning. They know the weight of the worries you're carrying. Where were they when you needed them the most? You shouldn't give them another thought. They're nothing but silhouettes distorted by the great veil. There's no shame in finding comfort in that thought. You need to let them go. You must cut any ties you have left with this world. For the veil's greatest trick was to disguise itself in light. Only then can you plummet into the blackness where the veil cannot exist. Look at my eyes, for they are like knives. Oh, they are knives. They're like big-ass knives, too. Like some fucking Final Fantasy-ass swords. This is ominous. This is ominous. I like it, though. And with my gaze, I will cut through the great veil. I will show you the way. I will walk you across the black water. I will help you tear down the veil once and for all. SOS. I first came to you in your dreams. Now, accept me in the flesh. Look at your hands. Don't be afraid. There's no need to be scared. You have a poison coursing through your veins. A cancer that stops you from seeing and sensing what is real. It has deceived you with false things to keep you tamed and content. But in the dark, you started to sense its presence. It is difficult to turn away from love, joy, and happiness. It is hard to close your eyes for the last light. But know that this light I speak of is artificial and false. And because of the nature of things, you must bleed. With my eyes, I will release the poison out of you. Hesitate. You're thinking of your loved ones. let go of them. Okay. Clarity. No pain. No doubt. The cold will turn to warmth. A sense of calm will follow. It's a little loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Let go of the discord. Let go of the worries. Discord. Leave all the woe to the other side of the veil. Breathe slowly. Listen. Can you hear it? Can you hear the dissonance drowning in the sea? Can you hear it sinking in the beautiful brown noise? I'll listen to the sea. There's no false light where the water begins. Yeah, no lighthouse. Not on this one. Whew. That was intense. It's the pyramid. Can you hear me? Something is happening. The pyramid has risen from the surface of the black water. It is slowly rotating in the air. Its base is turning into a face, and its face is turning into a base. A new truth has emerged. Is it too late? Please help me. I realize the truth has an ever-shifting nature. Can you hear me? I will repeat myself. The truth has an ever-shifting nature. Please, can you hear me? I will scream into the black water. The truth has an ever-shifting nature. I don't know what becomes of me. Help me. Hey there. Thank you for playing Without a Dawn. Hey, you're welcome. I hope you enjoyed my little game. I did. It was a lot. it was a lot. It was a lot, but I did enjoy it. It's quite unique. I sure did. I didn't like it. I did. Yeah, I liked it. For you. For you. That's a relief. Thanks. Hey, you're welcome, man. Don't sweat it. It took me approximately a year to create this game. Nice. I've taken a year to make a video. And I don't know that I'm going to be as accomplished as the game. So, good use of your time, I think. I spent lots of time rewriting the dialogue and recreating the art, among other tasks. Yeah, I know how that goes. It's a process. A constant iteration and revision. That's the only way to make it good. I'm just yapping. I'm just talking now. I don't know. It feels like I did 5 things for one to stick. Oh yeah, I know how that goes. That's not a very sustainable way to create games. Yeah, that's just the creative process, bud. But with this game, I felt I could spend more time refining the smaller details. This definitely seems like a game that you'd want to do that for. It's serious enough subject matter, and it goes so far with it that you gotta get it right. You don't want to make some grievous misstep. I always approach this project more as an art than a game. I could see that. I kind of clocked into that, so to speak. Clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I kind of clocked into that early on with the illusion of choice, right? This is really just like a game where you read and you hit the enter button over and over and over again. I think I did hear it described a little bit as like a visual novel-esque in a way. That's not to say that it's not a game. I do consider it a game. I think game as a medium is wildly diverse, more so than many other mediums. I don't think it's necessarily useful to separate this from games. I think it is a type of game. It is interactive, even if the choice is illusory, especially considering that, well, on one hand, it's possible that the illusion of choice is out of technical limitation or something. Like maybe you're not sure how to implement a lot of diverse branching paths or whatever through the narrative. I think the actual content and substance of the narrative lends itself to the illusion of choice. So I think it is done artistically in service of the story being told. Creating a thought-provoking and mature tale of the human psyche was tough. I had to constantly put myself in the dark place to bring this work into existence. Yet, at the same time, this project was a labor of love. I'm very proud of how it turned out. You should be. I think he totally hit the mark. I want to thank my wife, Jenny, interesting spelling, for her continuous support and help. Hey, we love that. Supportive partners make a lot of good art possible. Also, thanks to my kids, Rico and Minja. You're the best. Such interesting names. Thanks to the local game dev community, sharing a drink is always a pleasure. And huge thanks to you all for encouraging me through social media. Heart. Lesson 3. Oh. And before you go, and he just dons a gas mask. Oh no. It's real. He does have a little bit of a nefarious smile. I could see this portrait turning a little sinister. Would you consider dropping? Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe I'm doing a little too much. Would you consider dropping a review? I'll do you one better. I'll publish a 2-hour-long video about this. Maybe that's not actually one better, but thank you. You're welcome. That would help so much with the exposure. You can find me here, www.jessemcconen.com. Silver font at Poppyworks. Oh. Hey, thanks. Oh. Interesting. Dark line, classic, broken outline, bright outline, unbalanced, ocean. Say less. I do like the default one. I'm glad that is the default. Palette. What do we have here? Cape Cod. Tundra. Tom Thumb. De Papa Green. I like this one. Nandor. Livid Brown. Whoa. Calpa 25. Intense. Gray Asparagus. I like this one too. It's very minty. Gable Green. Eden. Default. I really like the default one, honestly. Cape Cod's kind of nice too. It is kind of low contrast, but I do like it. And that is Without a Dawn. Really interesting game. Took a little longer than I expected, but again, that's just me. That's just me talking up a storm, so to speak. I think it's pretty effective. I imagine that'll sit with me for a while. Yeah, I think it did a decent job of, I mean, as best as I can tell, of portraying this sort of compulsion conflicting with logical rigor, the sort of combative forces in an unbalanced brain chemistry, where there are certain things that you can reason out and certain things you can't. But even the things that you can't reason out, you can sort of apply a rationalization to divine a reason from it, because that is the tool you use to distinguish reality from unreality. And then that tool starts to betray you to a certain degree because of your overanalysis, or maybe dipping into magical thinking, dipping into surrealist explanation. As more and more things defy reason, you can only really make sense of it with more and more outlandish explanations if you aren't relying on my brain is inconsistent, I cannot trust myself. But even I cannot trust myself leads to its own problems, right? Interesting game. And it also gave me a fun excuse to do some voice acting at the end. My throat is so sore right now. I've been talking for 3 hours straight, and I think I was doing like some kind of mixture between Carl Sagan and G-Man from Half-Life, like some sort of like a hybrid of those. That's just what man in a gas mask kind of felt like to me. I don't know. I liked the elements of surrealism. I really resisted a lot of the surrealism because I wanted to portray the character a little bit more how I might make decisions myself in real life. But when I am watching a story, when I'm passively enjoying a story, I always want to go full force into the surrealist explanation, the surrealist elements of a story. That is my personal favorite. And part of that is because surrealism becomes so much harder to logically define. And so I like the challenge. I like to figure out, how could this possibly be true? You know? And an important lesson I learned when I first started watching The Twilight Zone many years ago, the original Twilight Zone, is that many stories like to present something as one way, something as unnatural, something as surreal, something as unexplainable. And some of those stories have a twist where they say, actually, that's not what reality was. Reality was something different, right? Whether that be like manufactured by the brain of a person or some other explanation where they're like, actually, it was this. Psych. But some stories stick to it. And Twilight Zone was always really good about that. Something weird and surreal is happening, and we'll give you a twist, but the weird and surrealist aspect of it was actually weird and surreal. It was actually in its most weirdest form, and that is the truth of the situation. There is just additional information that you didn't know, or some sort of like thematic connection that you hadn't pieced together. I love that. I like it when a story says, here's something weird, and it's actually weird. It's not just in your head. We're not gonna say it was a dream. We're not gonna psych you out. It's actually for real super weird. That's our story. Our story is the weird thing. I really like that. And this had elements of that, but I don't think at any point it was ever really trying to portray something as outside of the unreliable narrator perspective. But yeah, this kind of flirted with some of those ideas and some of those like styles of storytelling, which I really like. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this as well. I thought this would be kind of a fun like one-off video. Stay well, check on your loved ones. Bye. Bye. Stick around for more videos. I've got other series and stuff on the channel, and they're all good, I like to think. If you enjoy this game, go buy it. It's cheap. It's under $10. Go buy it. Gift it to somebody. Play it yourself if you want. I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Deep breath. Be that as it may. Was that the phrase? Fuck. I don't remember. Bye.